Good morning, guys. Cryptogasm here for Cryptogasmic Educational Community and Cryptocurrency Investing Facebook group. All right, so it looks like we're moving in the right direction for Bitcoin. We're going to do another update today. For those of you who have been following the last few reviews, you'll know that we're watching Bitcoin very closely in stages. We don't really want to make any predictions either way because there's certain parameters that we needed to break to determine which way it was going. So we've just been watching it closely, and we were kind of in that middle range where we don't know whether to say that we're out in a bull run or in a bull trap. So this is where we're at today, right? So starting off, first of all, you can still see we're in bearish territory, okay? A couple of days ago, we came up, we hit the trend line, and we found resistance there. So twice we've found resistance in this spot here. So I think we're going to try for a third time. And we really need to break out here. So those of you who took my signal at 6,600, 6,800 down here, we absolutely nailed that reversal in there. We made a lot of good money up here. And this was the place, 11,200, 11,100, when we did say that we thought that we'd find resistance, and that would be the first place that we would sell some of those Bitcoins from that trade, and that's what we did. Then we set some down here once we fell through this EMA, just here. And then I had a last line of defense around about 9,800, just in here. So you'll remember in the last day or two, I removed that stop loss as the indicators were kind of showing that we may come down and sort of go sideways here around that 9,400 and bounce between 9,400 and 10. And that's exactly what we've done for a couple of days. So that technical analysis is actually proving to be correct at the moment. So I'm going to stay with that. And the last technical analysis we had was that possibly, if we are going to continue, this could have been a wave 1, wave 2, and we could be looking at the beginning of a wave 3 here. Okay, and that seems to be what has happened. Okay. So if we have a look here, you can see we really held perfectly the 38.2 retracement of this move here. Okay, so we're still in bearish territory though, when we're not going to be out of bearish territory. And well, the first step is to get above this line. And then we have another parabolic trend line on the logarithm, which we'll have a look in a second, that we need to get back across. So we're still in that bearish territory, but we're working through those stages and we're grafting. And I told everybody that it wasn't the place to buy. If anything, we were selling or we were holding. So I had moved my stop loss from the 9,800 and I had moved it down here. And if we'd fallen through this cloud, then I was going to look to sell here. So I was prepared for both ways, and hopefully I got you prepared for both ways. So what's happened is we have basically hit the 38.2 line, gone sideways on the cloud on the 6 hour, and now we're finding our way out. So step 1, we've finally moved across the 50-day moving average and making our way up to the 200 on the 6 hour time frame is what I'm looking at the moment. This was a really important move here, that we got up through the red cloud and we came down and we found a little bit of support here. If you can see, the last time we did that up here, we got through and we fell straight through. Every other time, resistance, and this time we've pushed through. So that's a real bullish sign. So I'm possibly going to be looking for a buy here soon. All right, let's have a look at this on the daily chart. Okay. And you can see that I drew a little graph. I thought we may come down into here and start to reverse up here. Let's just get rid of that. Get rid of these for now. So these were the 2 points of interest we were looking at. We had a red box here and a red box here. So we've managed to find some support out of here. All right. Getting up past that 9,800 level that we have been looking at. So our next level is obviously on a daily level to break out past this EMA and get above this downward trend. Okay, and then we're going to have the next cloud to get through up here. And I've been saying for a few weeks, we're not really going to start getting bullish again until we get through that red cloud. If we have a look at the logarithmic scale, so you would, let's just get rid of these moving averages for a second, clean it up. Okay, so for 2017, we basically was following this trend through here. Okay, where you can see we bounced up, we hit the parabolic trend line, we came back down several times, and then we broke through in December. Okay, so we can't even think about being back into bullish territory until we kind of get up, climb through here. All right, so we've got to climb up through these clouds, and if we can get back up over, yeah, we need to get back up over here on the daily, and then start pushing towards the 20. So we've still got a long way to go. Let's go back. Okay. So I'm still looking at both case scenarios, but for now I'm going to look at this as bullish for the moment. I think there's an opportunity here to make a little bit of money, even if we do fail. So you can see on the daily, we've come up, we've met resistance again, we've bounced down, had the reversal, and we met resistance again. So now we're going to try for a third time. Now the daily has just popped its head above this trend line, which is great. Let's go out and look at the weekly, the longer term frame, because the weekly's just opened. Same thing. On the weekly, just popped our head above the downward trend line. So these are all really good signs. And if we have a look at our RSI, our weekly is just reset and just started, it's crossed over and on its way. So that's a great sign. Let's go back and work our way backwards now. 3-day, strong. Met resistance on the 3-day on the trend line, and hopefully the momentum from the daily, which hopefully looks like it's just about to turn, maybe in the next day or two, and reset. Now we can see the 12-hour hit the bottom and has turned up, and the 6-hour, which is the time frame I'm looking at it on at the moment. Okay, so we can see it's become positive in the last day, which is what we were hoping for from last night. Okay, so this is how I'm going to play. Now, I'm not really looking at any other of the coins. We'll have a quick look at Ethereum and Neo and Litecoin. And I did send out a signal for Ripple to the VIP group a couple of days ago. So we'll just run through them all quickly. And this is the way I'm going to play Bitcoin at the moment. I'm actually going to look for a buy in here somewhere. Okay. Basically anywhere sub 9,800. If we get a little dip back down into here, maybe resistance of this trend. So anywhere between 98 and 95, and I'm looking for it to come up out of here, something like this. I'm not going to chase it at the moment, but I'm kind of looking for a little resistance here, and then maybe something like this. Okay, that's what I'm hoping for. Now, we do have a head and shoulders, which I mentioned yesterday, and we can see it on all the time frames. Okay, and we needed this to start turning, and that's exactly what it's done. So that's a really positive sign as well. And if we can get across the neckline, let me just get rid of a few of these lines here. Right, so let's look at this on the 6-hour. So two things here. First of all, we've just broken through this downward trend here, okay? Which was really important. So if we actually get to break through this head and shoulders that is forming across the neckline here, right? If this over the next day or 2 days can turn and break this line here, around here somewhere, around the 11.5, 11.6, this should push us through, and we should hopefully look at Well, our first target is going to be somewhere around here, 13.3 or 15.3. Between 13 and 15 in here is what I'm going to be looking for. So I'm actually setting up buys at the moment in this zone here, where I'm not going to chase it up here. I think we may come down a little and then hopefully finish off this head and shoulders that's formed. Okay. And if we can do that, we should get a nice little run. Yeah. So we've broken that there. Perfect. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do, and I think it's going to cover me both ways. Now, I'm still holding some coins from the 6,800 buy, so I have a little bit of room to move even if we hit and it kind of goes the other way. I can still get out. I took good profit at 11, at 10.4, and I'm still holding the remainder of that. But I'm going to top up my position in here. So I'm going to place buys sub 9,800, probably down to 9,500. So I'll do 3 different buys, probably 9,000. I usually use 3.3, so probably 9,733, maybe 9,633, and 9,533, something like that. And then if we fall through there, then I'll just stop those out and take my profit from here. So what I'm expecting is 2 things. One of 2 things. All right. So if we can break this neckline across here, we should see a run up. A lot of retail traders are going to come in and they like to look for these kind of signs. If we hit here, we had a head and shoulders last week back over here somewhere. And I think the line at that time was 9,800, and we hit that and boom, we went through. And then we come around, it was back here. Okay, and you can see back here that once we broke that neckline, it took off, didn't it? Here. Hit that trend line, we found some resistance. So I'm expecting the same thing here for it. If it's turned, I was waiting for it to turn. I wasn't sure whether it was going to come down, but I was waiting for it to turn, which it's done. And if we can get up now and break this neckline, I really, really do think we'll take off for a nice run up here, which will give us some good profit either way. And then at that time, we will need to see what happens at this. So it should give us a nice run up to around about the 12,000, something like that. So if we can get in sub 10, we're looking at some good profit this week again on Bitcoin, even if we do meet resistance again for a third time. Let me just take a look at this. Yeah, and you can see, again, with the head and shoulders, so a lot of things made sense here. And as soon as we broke the trend, we broke the head and shoulders neckline, boom, we made a run up, okay? So I'm kind of looking for the same thing here now on this trend, here. Okay. Just move this down through here. Okay. So there we go. If we can break through around about here, yeah, that 11,000. If we can get through the 11,000 mark, we should see a good run up. And then I'm going to set some target areas there. So I'm kind of playing this in an Elliott wave theory at the moment. So if this was a 1, you can see we held a nice 38. So let's have a look at a few targets here, if we can get through. So what I'm going to be looking for is something like this. Probably maybe like this. And hopefully that'll give us the run up to 20,000 that we've been looking for. Okay. So this is what I'm looking for. Let's just put that in there. Hopefully, there. Once we get up through there, I'll put a stop loss at 15. And, you know, obviously step by step. So first of all, we want to be looking very carefully here, around 13.2, getting through to here with a final target up here. So one of two things should happen here. If we get this buy and it happens, we'll get up and we'll meet this trend line, and we'll either get a reversal, which means we can take some profit there of 2,000 a coin and get out. And as soon as we get this buy and it moves away, we put some stop losses on to protect our investment, and we can always look to rebuy. And first target we're looking for buy sub 10, we're looking for that 13,300 mark, okay? Which will again be in line with getting us through this red cloud on the daily, okay? So those are the stages we're looking at, and you know, Bitcoin, it's very positive that it's holding that above 9,000 price point. You can see, like, even if we move back here on the 6 hour, we had some long candles down, and the buyers managed to suppress those sells, and it's happened a few times here and here. And if we have a look at the volume, let's have a look at the volume. Okay. So we could see that on the bigger time frame, okay, the sell orders were getting smaller, and now we've turned into buys. Let's look at the bigger time frame. All right. So the buys have really taken over. And on the weekly, we've got our first little bit of green that's been painting in here. So there's a lot of good signs, but we do have to be careful, guys. All right? Have to be really, really careful. Just play it really, really smart. I think the way I've just pointed out, if we have a look at the strength, we can see the 6 hour it's just over the last day or so really picked up strength. The 3 hour, it's really sort of pumped up in the last few hours, and we're on the floor there. And I think the daily is just down, so we may get a little dip over the next day, and that's where I'm going to look to buy. All right, in there. So that's Bitcoin. Let's have a quick look at Ethereum. Okay, I haven't looked at this chart today, so okay, so as we can see with Ethereum, it didn't fall through the cloud on the daily like it did with Bitcoin. All right, and the same kind of thing, you know, if this is the bottom that we're going to find here for now, then this could be something. So there it is. So we've hit a 61.8 retracement, which is a good retracement, and working our way up through that cloud as well. Now, I'm still holding a lot of Ethereum. I didn't sell, so I'm not going to be buying anymore, but this could be a good place to buy, just in here. Anything sub 800 would be great, but anything kind of sub 820. And we'll give some targets for that a bit later. The other one I want to look at, I'm a big fan of NEO. I've been holding NEO since $30. And if we have a look at NEO. Okay, let's have a look at NEO, what we're doing. So you can see again the emotional cycle playing out with NEO. All right, if we have a look at the daily. Okay. You can see there we had quite a parabolic run up, and I mean we accumulated here under $38 in our group. We made a lot of money on this run up. We took the sell here, but I still held quite a few. And you can see now again, same thing, struggling to get through the red cloud, and all of a sudden, boom, jumped out. Okay. Same thing on the 12 hour. And the daily's just stuck its head. So these are all really, really positive signs. We're starting to see a little upward paint on the MACD. So NEO's looking good at the moment. Litecoin has had a good little run. Okay. Now, for those who got our buys under 140, you've had a really good trade on this one. And it kind of played out exactly how we thought. All right. So we bought here at 0.2 under 140. We look to take some profit up here. And this seems to be playing out as a perfect Elliott wave, which is great because an Elliott wave will follow another Elliott wave. So I still think we're going to be looking for a first target here of around about 250 to 260, and then possibly, hopefully, that 350, 360 mark. So be looking to take some profits through this area here. Anywhere between 300 and 350 should be our target there. Should play out over the next week or so. We can see here the 12-hour is strong, a lot of room to grow. The daily's turned. 3-hour is right up there. And the weekly has just hit the floor and is just finding strength again. So I think NEO is going to be a really good one to watch over the next week or two. And if we can get here to that 230 mark and break through, we might find a little bit of resistance here, around about the 230. And if we can get through there, we should be able to see this target of 265 quite easily. The other signal I sent out this week was for Ripple, which I said to buy below 90 cents. And we nailed that one pretty spot on as well. A lot of these seem to be taking Elliott wave forms now. We can have a look here and see that it held a perfect 50% retracement. And then we just started to get a move up. All right, and we placed our buys right here. So 88, 89 cents was the absolute perfect buy. Okay, as we move up, I would say once we get to about 96, 90, over 95, 96, put a stop loss at break even, and then you're in a risk-free trade. Target-wise on this one, I would be looking at something like this to play out. Maybe, again, we're trying to work our way up through this green cloud. Okay, and I think this may be the way that about the red cloud. And this is how we're going to get up to $2. So now that we've got this map, we're looking for a first target of around about $1.55, $1.57, which we're going to expect a retracement around there somewhere. We're going to watch it as we go. With a final target on Ripple, once we break out of this red cloud, around about the $2 mark, I'll put a trailing stop, and we'll see where we go from there. On the downside, because it's great to trade with no emotions and just have a plan, So again, this is the point we're looking to break through, and I think from $1 it will get up to that $1.50 really, really fast if we can get through there. Let's have a look at some indicators. Okay, 12-hour is just turned, is just picking up some strength. The 3-day is kissing here. Hopefully the momentum will, So it's a game of momentum. So we can see the 6-hour has gone sideways and we've picked up strength, which should lead into the 12, which it is, into the daily. And we just got to try and keep that upward momentum. We're looking for somewhere to be painting a little upward trend, which we are here on the 6-hour. 3-hour is already painting. So we just, as long as we can keep that momentum going, we should get through. And the points of resistance we're kind of looking at, I would say, would be around here. If we can break through this, just onto the bottom of this cloud, around the $1. So the $1 mark, we may go sideways, we might find a bit of resistance, but after we can break through that $1, we should go. If we find resistance and start coming down, just get your stop loss on. Worst case scenario, break even, don't lose any money. All right, guys, so that's it for today. All looking positive, but we've got to be careful, cover our bases, trade smart. I want you all to be in the 10% that win, not the 90% that lose, all right? And to do that, you've got to have a plan, you've got to have a map, you've got to have a strategy. So I'm pretty well covered for both scenarios. And we can only take what the market wants to give us, So if it wants to give us this run up to, if it wants to give me this run up to 15.8, perfect, I'm going to take it. If it wants to just come into here and find up to the 10,000 wherever, 10,000, 11,000, find resistance. Okay, I'll take the profit there. If it wants to turn around once I've bought in and come and stop me out, okay, I stop out, I break even. I look to rebuy a little bit lower, maybe around the 9,000 mark. I can't really see us right now in the next couple of days falling down below that 9,000 mark again. But cover yourselves with the stop losses, and then obviously if we break down, we've got our positions there where we want to break down. So all of our parameters are set, and that's the game plan. All right, guys, join us in the Cryptogasmic Chat room. It's good fun, lots of cool people, and we learn a lot. So take care, and we'll have another update tomorrow. All right, see you soon.